Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would do a special edition 420 episode for all the stoners out there, make it a little bit stoner centric for fun. So to start off, I want to share with you a delightful cup of coffee. This is my ubiquitous cock mug. I always drink out of that mug. I have several others, but I have this thing for drinking out of certain cups for certain things all the time. This coffee is so good, it's so rich, and it is the devil's lettuce. So in keeping with the theme of stoner-centric products, if you're one of those people that enjoys companies that have that sort of aesthetic, or that they're, friendly to that community, or just a band of wild creatives like you have here at Dark Matter. This art was drawn by Jason Brammer, Chicago-based visual artist, muralist, and musician. He does amazing artwork. They work with a lot of different artists. Dude, if you could smell this coffee, they're not paying me to say any of this, by the way. I'm just, really cool. And it's this artwork, or maybe not obviously, depending on who's watching, is inspired by Reefer Madness. So I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, I digress. I thought this would be a perfect time to use the Smoke Sessions palette. Again, another melt palette. Yes, one trick pony here. By the way, it's especially noisy in my neighborhood, in my apartment building. There's kids running upstairs. I can't tell if there's 2 or 5. I'm going to tell you, this palette, I'm only using it because I'm doing this video, but I actually don't really use it. As you can tell, it still has the embossed little weed leaves in there, which is pretty cute. I don't use it very much because it only has 2, and this was kind of, I think, a common complaint when this palette came out, which it's like over a year old. It only has 2 matte colors, and the rest of them are metallic. And I don't really use a whole lot of metallic color in general. Just having textured skin around my eyes and stuff, and that just not being particularly flattering for me. In any case, because there are the 2 sides of the palette here, I'm gonna do one side green and one side with the more gold, greeny brown color. So let's get started. I think I'm gonna do the sort of the browns on this side, and I'll do the greens on the other side. And I'm gonna start with this Sour Diesel. And yes, the colors are all really fun names too, and they're really rich, really like soft in the palette. So I don't even have a plan here. I'm just having a good time. Why not? I was thinking about what I was going to say for this video, and I was thinking about how the smell of weed is one of those strong early sensory memories from my early childhood, because Mama was a stoner. No, not like, not crazy, but it was sort of like, I feel like it was part of the culture in my family, and the people that were around my family, at least some of the time. It was sort of a normal, accepted thing, and I'm honestly glad for that. To me, I kind of look at it like, I would rather have the awareness that I have because of things that I saw when I was a child. I don't think of that as the worst thing in the world. I'm just doing a smoked out eye here. And this, I haven't used this in so long, and I'm like, dude, why not? Because this Sour Diesel color is freaking awesome. It's really, it blends out so beautifully. I like it so much because it's such an interesting, cool green-brown shade. And again, that's what I always come back to with Melt, is that their colors are just really interesting and beautiful, and beautifully paired with one another. I just heard in some news report that weed sales are through the roof because people are stuck at home. I did mention in my intro video, it's always kind of hard, like awkward for me to talk about weed because I am in recovery for alcohol, and a lot of people out there are more pure in their, or purist in their mindset about that, where it's like you're sober or you're not. And I respect that mindset. I can understand that for sure. I feel like it's important for people to decide what works best for them and make up their own mind, To me, I think what's really important is to acknowledge that we are all ever-changing beings. So what you might have thought was something you wanted to do at one point in your life may not be down the road. And I think it's great to just embrace the flexibility of thought, that you can change. I really find marijuana, THC, valuable, CBD. Well, and that's the other thing, is there's so many different as yet to be understood. I don't know if I'm saying that well, but properties of the plant that have, research has been so limited for so long, and they're just now starting to look into other cannabinoids and what their properties are. There's a whole buzz around CBD. Sometimes it works and sometimes it may do nothing in it, or it may have a placebo effect. So I don't know. That's a whole other subject, though. I guess that's another can of worms that's kind of separate. But in any case, for me, I've had over the years problems with depression, definitely anxiety. I think it's wise to both do your research and do your reading and talk to professionals, but still listen to yourself and listen to what works for you. So at times in my life, I have used antidepressants and found them to give me similar unwanted side effects to what I experience using marijuana, but I don't get the pleasant experience that I get using marijuana. So to me, it's like a no-brainer. Why would I take a pharmaceutical that has other side effects that I don't have with marijuana, where I feel like marijuana is something that's a little bit more predictable, because if you've used it for long enough, you know how it affects you. Okay, so this is interesting. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt my train of thought there. I really think it's fun, actually, to use both together, and I wouldn't have really done that before. I just was kind of doing it for this video. But these colors are really interesting together. You have like the more blue green and then the brown green, and I just think that is really I remember this color Space Queen, the one I'm using on this eye. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my god. I was like so excited about this color because it's so rich and just intense and beautiful. It reminds me of like a beautiful blue-green tree and deep in the forest or something. It's not supposed to be that kind of tree, but anyway. It's funny because there's so much more on the subject of substance use and addiction and all these things that I want to talk about. And because I'm just sort of getting into this, thinking to myself, what do you really want to say? How revealing do you want to be on the internets about these things that you've seen and experienced in your life? And I kind of vacillate between, I think it's really good for people to share things that are maybe difficult to talk about, but I also think it's important to have boundaries for oneself, and that's why some of these subjects have to be considered really carefully before you just jump in and start talking about them. So let's drink some more coffee. This coffee forces you to stop and just get the full experience, the full aroma, feel the heat of it, everything about it. Dude. Now I'm going to go in with these colors I don't want to use, which is partly why I'm stalling, because I'm like, fuck. I lied. I'm going to sneak outside of the Smoke Sessions palette, which is fine. Whatever. And I'm going to jump in with a little bit of this color Blur. I really like this color as just what it says it is. It does a really great job of blurring, and part of that is because it's not too far away from my skin tone. So I think that whatever your skin tone is, finding a shade that is close enough to it is a great way to blend out your whatever intense colors you're using. It's really a neat little trick. And I discovered it because of this color Blur, and I was like, dude, why didn't I think of this before? Like, it's just subtle. You don't see it as its own color. It actually, it's there and it's making an effect, but it's just very, very subtle. So I'm going to go in. I'm going back to the left eye here, good old left eye. So I'm going in with this color Black Widow right here. So yeah, one thing though I think is an important point when you're talking about any kind of substance. To me, there's an absolute such thing as diminishing returns. I think it's common for people to find something they like weed, and just go all in, and it's like their religion. I have found it really useful to read about the different neurochemicals that are impacted by using THC, or using marijuana, I should say, because it's more than just THC, and how overusing marijuana can disrupt the dopamine system of the brain in ways that that's when you end up not feeling motivated to do anything and not feeling particularly high when you use it. Those are experiences that I have had, and other people I know have had. When you treat it like it's a constant, it kind of loses its value then. So, less is more. Not always easy to do when you're locked in your house though, right? I know, I feel ya. So I always kind of do this where I want to do a halo eye, and I'm like tempted. I don't know if you noticed like a minute ago, I was almost going to do it and I was kind of hesitant. And I want to go in the center here with this same Black Widow color and then build toward the center and make a halo. But doing the inside part of my eye like that with a dark color, I just don't love the effect that it has once I put my eyeliner on. I feel like it's just too much. I'm actually going to go back in with a little bit of that sour diesel and just deepen the color in the crease a little bit. Now that I smoked it out, I mean, it should be smoky. That's only appropriate, right? One of my neighbors has a dog that resembles my beloved dog Fox, who passed away 4 years ago, next week actually. And whenever I see that guy walking his dog, I just feel happy because I'm like, aw, that dog is like Fox. Fox was the best. She was such a brat, but she was so awesome. She was a little shit and a half. You know how they say that you end up with a dog that's like you or looks like you? I don't know if she looked like me, but she I don't have long floppy adorable ears or anything, but her like energy was a lot like mine, and I think that's why we butted heads, and that's what made us love each other, but also we were constantly vying for power. Little fucker. One time I really love a good like triple cream brie. It's one of my favorite treats. And one time I'm pretty sure it was a nice wedge of like Deletes de Bourgogne that was on the counter, like fucking probably an $8 wedge of cheese. And I was making myself a little cheese plate, and I probably turned around to pour a glass of wine or something back then. And I fucking turn around and she's like finishing it. Like she ate that shit in one bite because she knew that she had to get it quick, you know? I was like, I was so mad, but it was also hilarious. I'm like, you god damn it. She's one of those dogs that would do bad stuff and you couldn't even be mad at her because she's so fucking cute. She's like a 50-pound floppy-eared idiot. And she was equal parts beautiful, and I'm gonna have to find a picture to put on here. She was equal parts beautiful and silly looking, kind of, so that's kind of what made her so awesome. She had one blue eye, one brown eye. Yeah, I could go on at length about my sweet Fox. She was the best. And her passing was one reason why 2016 was a shit year. That's cool. I deepened that a little bit. I'm gonna go to Granddaddy next. I never use these metallic colors. They're just, oof, but they're pretty. Oh my god, I want to drink that. Okay, I had an idea. This is a silly idea. See, when I see this now, then I'm like, fuck, I really need to do a halo though. It won't make sense if it's not a halo. Fuck it, I'm doing it the way I want to, and you can't tell me what to do. Okay, so I think that Melt Cosmetics, when they made the Smoke Sessions palette, it was this really cute whole setup. They had a little glass bowl that had the Melt logo. They had a little grinder, just a few different little things. And they also have lip colors. It's a whole collection. The lip colors were really intense. Like there was a dark green and a couple of different reds. And I don't really wear bright colors like that anymore because of aging skin. But anyway, you know, at a certain point, they just become less flattering, and it's a bummer because you want to put it on your lips and you can't. Anyway, I think that Melt should put out a special edition line of rolling papers and have all the papers be the different colors of either like all of their shit or like just certain ones, but definitely the Muerte and Vida palettes. Like, yes, they should totally do that because then I can smoke the colors. I know that sounds totally insane. I don't fucking care because I love that shit. So I don't know if you can see this. I'm sorry I'm working with a very like low level filming setup for now. So the colors are not going to be captured in as much subtlety. But this color is so fucking gorgeous. And the way there's like the subtlest shift to a greenish gold. It's so subtle, but it's fucking cool. These guys did, as always, an amazing job. The texture of it is really beautiful too. It just looks like silk on your eyelid. Really pretty, really pretty. See, when I see these things, it almost like converts me and makes me want to start using more of these metallic colors. The unfortunate reality is when you start to have more textured skin in your eyelid area, it doesn't sit well. Like it'll look great at first, but then it kind of settles into your skin. I think it's just one of those things that as your skin ages, it just gets more difficult to find products that really work around that skin. It probably would be better for me to use like an eyeshadow primer along with just using the regular primer. I actually am using a Tarte primer. It's like a hydrating primer, so I've been using that. I also really like the Milk, talk about your stoner centric brands, Milk Cosmetics. I really do like their Hydro Primer. That is a really nice one too. So on that note, now let's go in with a little bit of this. I'm just excited looking at it, okay? I'm like not dipping my brush in yet so I can just like look at it. The anticipation is just part of the fun, you know? Oh, God, you're pretty. So this is actually like so neat too with what they do with their palettes, is the way that they put analogous colors with one another so that they do blend really smoothly from one into the next. It almost creates like an easy ombre, and that's a nice way to set up your palettes to make it even more user-friendly, less intimidating. I'm actually going to go a little bit onto the under eye. I love the look of like a reflective metallic shadow right underneath just the iris part of the eye, almost like it's reflecting into the eye or something like that. And with my eye color, certain golds, because my eyes are blue with kind of gold, like a yellowy gold towards the center, whenever I use gold toned eyeshadows, it really picks that up. And I think that is a good thing to, you know, play with the subtleties of your eye color. It's those little things. To me, it doesn't have to be like a big dramatic look to have a dramatic impact. It's more about the way that you select colors and the way that you position them, and even like how little of something you use can just make it go whoa. And you can have this look, everything is like really on point, and then you add that one little pop of light in the inner corner of the eye and it makes the whole face go whoa, you know? So here's the thing, like a lot of people would just go ahead and do that inner corner, but I don't like to do that. And part of the reason why is that I'm trying to kind of draw the eye outward and upward. So I feel like if I have this really dark inner corner, it's gonna draw the eye more inward. I don't know if that's accurate. I just feel like it's more flattering for me to leave it lighter. And I also feel like, not that this look isn't already pretty dramatic, but when you do the full halo, to me it's like, it's got a lot more intensity, and I just don't feel like making it that intense right now. So I'm not gonna. I've been alone for too long. Is anyone else feeling crazy? Frustrated maybe? A little bit? Yeah, me too. I don't know how long we're all going to be able to handle this, but it's hard. I'm trying not to think about it or talk about it because I don't want this video to be like a reminder, but it's reality, you know? So now I'm going to go back in and do the same thing with that deep, dark, fucking glorious color. Ooh, I just noticed something. So I'm going to be doing a video about tattoos, and I have a thing for finding colors that resemble the color of tattoo ink on my skin, black ink, the way it changes. And this is that color. That's partly why I like it so much. This color. I also like to match my nail polish. My nails are a little janky right now, but I like to match my nail color to that tattoo ink color because I just really love the way it creates sort of continuity. So yeah, anyway, side note. People are probably going to think I'm really weird, and they would be accurate. So going right into this crease here. I want to take a bath in this color. I've mentioned in my previous video, I've been trying to get myself to draw. I talk about it in my recovery group every week. It's like my goal for the week. I'm going to draw this week. And then this week I was like, I'm not even going to say that because I'm not even sure if I'm going to do it. And it's a matter of like sitting down. I draw animal portraits. I really love drawing animals. I love feeling close with nature. I love looking up close at animals. I like to do very detailed drawings and capture like the texture of their fur. I do have a bachelor's degree in art, but I still consider myself a novice because I haven't drawn very much or done any artwork in so many years that I'm like relearning each time I do it. And now my most recent hiatus has been like 2 years. Like I'll pick up and do a little sketch here and there, but I won't actually sit and do a full drawing or spend time daily. So you can't get better at a skill if you don't work on it, especially a skill like drawing. However, if you're someone who's done it fairly extensively like me, then it comes back quickly. And it's just getting over that hump that is like torture for me for some reason. It's all in your head, or in this case, all in my head. I draw people's pets, especially like after their pet passes away. I've had people ask me to draw their pet, and it's a real honor. It feels like I like the idea that I'm honoring that animal's existence in a certain way and the contribution that animal made to my friend's life by drawing it and sort of giving it this permanent commemoration. The crazy thing is I started drawing again when Fox died, and I was like, I'm gonna do a good drawing of her. That's my goal. And I've done some pretty solid drawings of other people's pets, but I've never drawn a good drawing of Fox yet, and that drives me crazy. And my dog Charlie, who currently doesn't live with me, and I can't visit him because of COVID-19, which sucks. But anyway. Okay, I think I'm just gonna have to like revisit my whole stance on these eyeshadows because they're so fucking pretty. Now I'm gonna go in with this. See, these are like candy to me. Like, I just want to. I'm gonna go in with Mean Green here. This guy. Oh, dude. This color is pretty similar, I think, to the color of like the palette itself. Kinda. Is it? Yeah, it's pretty similar. And again, it's like a sparkly pine tree, only the kind that you can smoke and get real baked on. Now I'm going in, by the way, with Sweet Tooth, which is another delectable. These greens, like, I love them so much. I just wanted to take a moment though and point out, after having done my eyeliner on this eye and not on this eye yet, I want to point out how much more lifted this eye looks versus this eye just because of the liner. And then also I add a little bit of the liner right underneath the eye, and I use my same brush that I used in the crease with a little bit of that. The Sour Diesel just blended that in with the black a little bit there. And then to sort of complete it, I go back with the Farrah 35E brush and a little bit of that blur color, which is from the Dark Matter stack originally. I just go and like sort of clean up the edge there a little bit. So that's that. I'm going to do the other eyeliner off camera, and I'm going to do lashes. Alright guys, so this is pretty much the finished look. I threw some lashes on. I actually don't mind wearing lashes. It's not that they bother me. I don't find them too uncomfortable necessarily. The thing I don't like about using them is that the glue that you use is basically liquid latex. It's super effective, it's flexible, I always think it's such a cool material if you're not allergic to latex, obviously. The thing I dislike about it for a product that is on the skin of your eye, especially if you have makeup underneath that, you're gonna have some of that liquid latex that is stuck like glue, like these little dots of glue that's stuck to your eyelid. And usually the next day after I've washed my face, and I usually do like a double cleanse and, you know, do a thorough face washing, even that will not take off these little chunks of glue. So I have to keep rubbing at my eyes, and especially if you have a concern with aging skin, the last thing you want to be doing is pulling and tugging and rubbing at your eyes. Okay, it's that time that everybody loves. Oh, there it is. I really like this two-tone look. It's really fun. I never do stuff like this. I would not have thought to do this as like, oh, I mean, I wear this out, but I would totally wear this out because I think it's just really fun and really pretty. And if I saw it on somebody else, I'd be like, that's interesting, you know? A little bit of this Morphe setting spray. Yes. A little bit of Laura Mercier setting powder. By the way, I keep meaning to point out and keep forgetting, that is my paddleboard paddle right there. And I'm gonna be in the water pretty soon here. Let's hope, if I don't get in trouble, because as I've said, I live down the street from the beach in Chicago. I live down the street from Lake Michigan, which is an amazing thing for me to be able to say. And our wonderful mayor, Lori Lightfoot, is not taking any shit. And she doesn't want your ass on the beach. Stay the fuck home. And she's like, not playing. So I have my morning ritual where I go to the lake and I meditate and I go in the water, which is like around 40 degrees. It's my therapy. It helps with anxiety. It helps with chronic pain. It helps reduce inflammation. It resets your brain in the morning. It is one of my favorite rituals I've adopted, and I like worry about how it's going to be different when I don't have the lake right there to go into. Yesterday, I was doing my lake ritual and I saw a helicopter in the distance, but it was a police helicopter, and they came so low and they flew over me. And me being the fucking 5-year-old that I am, apparently, I waved at the at the helicopter, because it's like my instinct when there's like a low flying vehicle, like, hey, what's up? Because I knew they fucking saw me. But I didn't think they were going intentionally by me to like send a message. I thought they were just like, you know, scoping the fucking shoreline. But then they came and did a circle back around and they like went with their like siren at me, and I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. But I was talking about it later with my best friend. She was like, girl, they just came back to get another look. I was like, you know what? You're probably right. It was like me and like 2 other people on the beach, and they saw a chick in a bikini. They're like, oh, okay. Here's a nice distraction. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure they were being fully professional and doing their jobs. I'm positive. Dude, I'm surprised, but I really think this is pretty. It's quirky, it's a little weird, but I dig it. So yeah, that's the finished look with the Melt Cosmetics Smoke Sessions palette, which again is a little bit old, but what the hell, it's 420. It's a crazy upside down world 420, but we might as well enjoy ourselves. I hope you all enjoy your surreal 420 experience. If it's your thing that you get to have something great to smoke, or some nice edibles or something, and if it's not your thing, I hope you enjoy your day for just another awesome day of being alive and being able to enjoy each other's company even through YouTube. So thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe down below. I would love to hear feedback from anyone out there who's watching. If there's anything that you would like to see me talk about, or anything in particular that you liked about this video, please give me a shout, and I will catch you on the next one.